This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good morning, Rabbi Say. If you woke up this morning and you wanted to learn something very difficult, sometimes you wake up in the morning, you have an urge to learn something very difficult, then you came to the right shiur. Because this nevuah is, as we said in the past, the Nevi'im Achronim are begeder asbaklaria she'ina me'ira as compared to some of the earlier Nevi'im. So we're going to go back to Pasuk Zayin. We're in Parak Yud Aleph. Parak Yud Aleph, Pasuk Zayin. Va'era es tzayin haharega. God says, I will tend to the flock that was meant to be slain. Here again, Klal Yisrael is referred in that terminology, the flock that's meant to be slain. Now Rashi explains that these are all the words of Hashem to the Navi, that in their early years Hashem himself tended to us. Lachein aniyeh hatzayin. The word here, lachein usually means therefore, here it means because. Because they are the meekest of sheep. V'ekach li shnei makles. I will take for myself 2 staffs. Liachad karasi noyam. The first staff I will call the staff of pleasantness. Uliachad karasi choivlem. The other one I will call choivlem, destroyer. Va'era es hatzayin. And I will tend to the sheep. Now, last week we discussed the various meanings of the 2 terms, noyam and choivlem. We're going to begin this week, we're going to go backwards. We're going to start with the Gemara, Masechta Sanhedrin on Chav Daled. The Gemara says, it's probably not the simple explanation of the pasuk, that Noyam refers to the Talmidei Chachamim Eretz Yisrael that were pleasant one with each other in halacha, where they studied each other's opinion and they were pleasant and respectful to each other's various opinions. However, the Gemara says Talmidei Chachamim Bavel, they were more contentious with each other. They were more argumentative in terms of not accepting the views of the other, and they are referred to as the staff of Choivlem. Okay, that is the Gemara's pshat. But now let's learn Rashi. Rashi says, what is the staff of Noyam? What is the staff of Choivlem? Says Rashi, Liachad karasi Noyam, Yeravam Omar lenahalam la'at. Noyam refers to the Aseres Hashvatim. They were led by Yeravam and Avat. Yeravam and Avat began his rulership with comments of pleasantness. He wanted to lure the Aseres Hashvatim into his camp with pleasantness. However, the Malchei Yehuda are called Choivlem, destroyers, because their first king, Rechavam, he told the people, I will not be pleasant to you. He chastised them with scorpions, with an iron fist. So according to Rashi, Noyam refers to the Aseres Hashvatim, Choivlem refers to Yehuda. Okay. Then we have the Radak. The Radak says that these 2 staffs, they refer to Hashem's fluctuating relationship with us. What does that mean? That means when we act in the correct way, the Rebbeinu Shalom deals with us pleasantly. When we don't act in the correct way, then unfortunately God has to choose another way of dealing with us. The Radak says, the manner of the shepherd is to guide his sheep with a staff. And so the Navi is saying Hashem took 2 staffs to guide the Jewish people. God does not have the same hanhaga with us at all times. Rather, it's Lefi Ma'asehem. Okay, that's the Radak. What?
Is the translation of Choivlem?
Choivlem, destroyers. Now, the Abarbanel has another interpretation here. And that the shepherd here is not God, but rather it's Zecharia who Hashem commanded in Pasuk Dalet to guide us and to tend to the flock. So Zecharia says he tended to the flock because he had mercy on them. Now, if you look in the Metzudos, please take a look in the Metzudos. The Metzudos says the 2 staffs refer to 2 eras of Malchei Chashmonai. What does this mean? Says the Metzudos David, "Ubalaram is ala kohanim b'nei Chashmonai." Right? We're almost tomorrow night already is is Rosh Chodesh Kislev. So the Metzudas David says that this is a remez to the Bnei Chashmonai who ruled him during the Bayis Sheni. That there were two different eras of the Chashmonaim. First, you had the three children of Matisyahu, who were Yehuda, Yonasan, and Shimon, and their actions and their practices were B'nayam with Yiras Hashem and Kishon Hamasa. However, their descendants were Mechabel. Their descendants, the descendants of the Chashmonaim, were not righteous. So the two staffs, according to the Metzudas, refer to two eras of the Chashmonaim. The Ibn Ezra says the two staffs refer to Nehemiah and Zerubbabel. Okay, I want you to bear in mind the pshat of the Metzudas David, that these two staffs refer to two different eras of the Chashmonaim, either Yehuda, Shimon, and Yonasan, or as opposed to the later Chashmonaim, where later on it became under Herod and Agrifas. We will see, because that's going to come into play very soon. Okay, that Pasuk Ches. I will decimate and destroy the three shepherds. I will remove the three shepherds b'yarach echad in 1 month. My soul has become disgusted with them. V'gam nafsham, and their soul b'chalavi was disgusted with me. So the pasuk is saying that God is going to remove the three shepherds in 1 month. And again, the question is what? Who are the three shepherds? So luckily we have 7 pshatim. Who the three shepherds are? Only 7. Don't worry. So we're going to say the Gemara's pshat last. It's Gemara and Tainus on Daf Tes. We once mentioned this. But let's begin with Rashi. Rashi says, who are the three shepherds? Says Rashi, V'heim hishchisu darcheim, they corrupted their ways, ad shema'astem, until they were disgusting, v'haragtim, and I had to kill them, b'chodesh echad. Kol shloishes harayim, shaharag. What? Does that, if you're following inside, what's the next word? Shaharag what? It should say Yehu. Yehu. Yehu was a figure in Malachim Beis. In my Navi it says Vihu. It's a mistake. Obviously the printer was not learning the Rashi while he was printing it. It's Yehu. Yehu killed out the whole house of Achav. So that means like this. There was a king called King Yehoram. And King Yehoram worshipped the Baal. He was the king of the Aser Sashvatim. At the time, the king of the Yehuda was Achaziah. Achaziah's potential successor was also murdered by Yehu. Yehu came in and killed out Yehoram, Achaziah, and Achaziah's potential successor. And Hashem killed them all because they were all corrupt. So when Yehu killed out all the Malachim who served the Baal, these three shepherds were killed at one time. So Yehu as Kol Beis Achav as Beis Achazim Melch Yehuda Beis Echav as Kol Zera Malchus David. Va'Asalya Ibdos Ashar. Asalya killed the rest except for Yoash, who was hidden.
Was Yehu from the Zera Malchus David? And the other three were also Zera Malchus David?
Yehoram was not Malchei David. Achaziah, I think, was. And Yehu, I don't know for sure. But ultimately Yehu was also punished because he was nichshal in a small semblance of Avodah Zarah as well. Now it's interesting, and this is something the Chofetz Chaim talks about, that Yehu was commanded to wipe out anyone who worshipped the Baal. So Chofetz Chaim says, but Yehu slipped up in like the dust of it. Nothing that he would ordinarily be punished for. But if you're killing somebody because they're violating a sin, then you have to be very careful that you yourself have no connection to it. Because if you yourself have some of that sin, even a semblance, then God will reckon that if you punish somebody because of that sin, you'll be considered having spilled innocent blood. Why? Because the fact that you yourself were able to violate it shows that you don't consider it so terrible. If you don't consider it so terrible, then how could you kill these people? So ultimately Yehu, because he tripped up in the dust of the Baal, was punished for spilling innocent blood, even though God told him to punish them. But the Chofetz Chaim says, if somebody's going to speak Lashon Hara about somebody else, l'toyelas. For instance, let's say you go and warn someone, don't shop in that store. That guy, he doesn't have honest weights. If you have even a semblance of dishonesty in any matter, then then when you spoke about him, is not going to be considered a tayalas anymore. It's going to be considered full-fledged lashon hara. Because you can
really, could you ever have a tayalas then?
So it's a very frightening thing. Before you say it's tayalas, you have to make sure you're completely guilt-free in that area. Okay, that's Rashi's pshat. That's Rashi's pshat. Rashi learns the three kings were Yehoram, Achaziah, and the descendants of Achaziah. The Radak, you can take a look at the Radak for a moment. They say these are the three sons of Yoshiyahu. Take a look at the Radak. The Radak says, Haim b'nei Yoshiyahu. Who are they? Yehoyachaz, Yehoyakim, Tzidkiyahu. They all died in the hands of their enemy. It wasn't at the same time.
This is V'yarach Echad is a pasuk.
So the Radak says,
Same month.
what about Yehoyachim? He was exiled and he was not destroyed. But these three, Yehoyachaz, Tzidkiyahu, and Yehoyakim, all died.
So what does it mean according to Radak V'yarach Echad?
It's a figurative language in a small amount, a small time frame. Please take a look at the Metzudas David. Metzudas David, going with the theme that the two staffs, the staff of pleasantness and the staff of Choivlem, refer to the pleasant staff are the early Chashmonai leaders. The unpleasant staff, the destruction staff, is the later Chashmonai leaders. Well, he goes along the same lines here. The three shepherds, he says, are Uval Rames al Shloisha Saraim Haniimim B'nei Matasya Ben Yochanan Kohen Gadol, that they led for 30 years and then they were destroyed. Yehuda led for 6 years. Yainasan 6 years. Shimon 18 years, 30 years. And since years are sometimes called Yamim, like the Lavan and Basul said, Teshev Ima, right? Yamim Ayasar. Yamim could mean a year. So Yerach Yamim
And when 30 a year
is 30.
Days,
30.
like 30 years.
Right. Okay, so now I want to tell you the Gemara in Tainus. Gemara in Tainus says an amazing pshat. That what does it mean that the three shepherds were all destroyed, were all removed in 1 year? Who are our great three shepherds? Who are the greatest three shepherds the Jewish people had? Moshe, Aaron, Miriam. In the merit of Miriam, what do we have? Be'er. Not beer, the Be'er. Right, good. Be'er. Then in the merit of Aaron, we had what?
Anani Yaakov.
Anani Yaakov. In the merit of Moshe, we had? Man. Fine. When Miriam died, when did Miriam die? Yud Nisan. The Be'er left. They still had beer, but the Be'er left. And it came back in the zchus of Moshe and Aaron. When Aaron died, when did Aaron die? Rosh Chodesh Av. The Anani Yaakov left, and the Be'er left, and they both came back in the merit of Moshe. When Moshe died on Zayin Adar, all three left. Says Gemara, this is what it means. I'm going to remove the three shepherds in 1 month. What do you mean they died in 3 months? One was an Adar, one was an Av, one was an Nisan. The answer is when Moshe died, it was like they all left. All three of them left. The Gemara is very difficult because it doesn't seem to fit into the end of the pasuk that Hashem was disgusted by them. Could we say such a thing about Moshe, Aaron, and Miriam? So it's hard to read the Gemara until the end of the pasuk. Okay, pasuk test. So let's try to bear in mind 3 of the pshatim here. Rashi's pshat is, it refers to Yehoram, Achaziah, and the descendants of Achaziah. The Metzudas David, the Radak says it refers to the 3 sons of Yoshiyahu. And the Metzudas says it refers to the 3 sons of the Chashmonam. Okay. Pasuk test. Va'imar, and I said, Loi era eschem, I will no longer tend to you. Hamesa samos. Those who are destined to die, let them die.
What are you going to say? If they're destined to die, they're going to die.
V'hanechedes tikached. Let the decimated ones, actually not the Hamesa sometimes means the ones who are dying, they will die. V'hanechedes, the ones who are decimated, tikached, they will be decimated. V'hanesharos, and the remnant, toichalna, they will be consumed, ishas b'sar usa, one to the other. So the Radak says this refers to the three sons of Yoshiyahu, who were right before the destruction of the first Beis Hamikdash, Yayachaz, Yayakim, and Tzidkiyahu. Hashem said, I'm going to no longer protect them. He's going to remove His protection, and therefore those who are destined to die, that's what will happen to them. Va'ekach es makli es noyam. I will take my staff noyam. What's noyam? According to Rashi, Asar Sashvatim. According to the Radak, it's God's various ways that He deals with us. According to Mitzvahs David, it was the first three kings of the Chashmonaim. Va'egda isa, I will cut it off. Lahafer es brisi, to annul the covenant, asher karati, that I sealed as kol ha'amim, with all the nations.
Not with the Israel, with the nations?
With the nations. Now what kind of deal does Hashem have with the nations? The deal Hashem has with the nations is they can't destroy us. But Hashem broke the treaty and He said all bets are off. They can't harm us.
Promised that He was never going to destroy the Bnei Israel.
But there was a treaty that the nations can't harm us, and that much God did annul.
But then that would be an oxymoron with the bris.
No, because
that
they
treaty.
would destroy it.
What?
Then the nations.
How long is that treaty?
How long is it? Let's see the Mefarshim. According to Rashi, the staff of Noyam is the staff of the Aseres Hashvatim. So what does it mean Hashem is going to break that staff? It says Rashi, Shavarti es koyach malchei Yisrael. I will break the power of the kings of the Aseres Hashvatim, b'mei Yehayachaz ben Yehu, ad ki avda melech Aram, until the king of Aram destroyed them. And Bimei Hoshea ben Elah, in the days of Hoshea ben Elah, Shemasartim b'yad Sancheriv, Hashem delivered Hoshea ben Elah into the hands of Sancheriv. Says Rashi, Lahafer esprisi asher karati es kol amim, laharoisam, to show them shebeshvil shabagdubi, because they were treacherous to me. Hafarti esprisi, I annulled my covenant, asher karati im kol amim aleim shlayazikon. I made a covenant with all the nations that they should not harm us. I gave the Jewish people the Torah on condition. God gave us the Torah. What does it say about the luchos? That someone who learns Torah is free from the yoke of the nations of the world. That shalotei umah v'lashin shaletes b'hem. And so when God gave us the Torah, the deal was if we keep the Torah, we are protected from the nations. But now Hashem said, all bets are off. I will not protect you anymore. You didn't keep your end of the bargain. It says Rashi, V'yatisma im diber hamikrat shu'asa miyad soine belashon krisas bris es hasoine. So Rashi's bothered by a question. It's a very unusual terminology. The deal was with the Jewish people, not with the Goyim. The deal was if the Jews keep the Torah, Hashem will protect us, and if we don't, He won't protect us. Why is it referred to as a treaty that God made with the Goyim? God didn't make a treaty with the Goyim, He made a treaty with the Jewish people. So Rashi says, don't wonder about this. Because we find similar situations. B'charati lohem bris bayemu imchayas hasada, where God made a deal with the animals. Not a deal with the animals, a deal with the humans, that they will be protected from the animals. God didn't get the animals together. He didn't call all the animals into a meeting, into His conference room. He brought in lion, tiger. He didn't. That's the term. That's the way the Torah speaks. The deal really was with Klal Yisrael. Okay, this is how Rashi learns. However, the Metzudas David learns that this deal The staff of pleasantness was the staff of the three sons of Matisyahu. But, says the Metzudas David, after the rule of the three sons of Matisyahu, Yochanan, Shimon, and Yehuda, after they died, the pleasant relationship that the Goyim had with them weakened, and all bets were off. And that was sort of the end of the righteous rule of the Chashmonaim. Pasuk Yud Aleph. V'atufar b'yom hahu. So it became annulled on that day. V'yedu chen, and they knew it was so. Who knew it was so? Aniyei hatzoin, the meekest of sheep, Hashomer Moisi, that preserved me. Kidvar Hashem hu, they knew it was coming from Hashem. So now what was annulled? So again, it depends on which pshat. The Radak says that after the reign of the three sons of Yoshiyahu, that was the end of the Malchei Beis David. Or according to Metzudas David, it was annulled the power of the Chashmonaim. Or according to Rashi, this refers to the end of Yehoram and Achaziah. And now we have something very unusual. Pasuk Yud Beis. V'oimar aleim, I said, I as God, I said to the people, Im tov be'einechem, if it's good in your eyes, if you want me to protect you, havlu schari, then pay me. God said, you want me to be your shepherd? Shepherds get a fee.
Is for Omar a Lashon Asid or a Lashon Avar? Because we shouldn't have said V'yomarti if it was Lashon Avar.
Well,
Vav is a hippo.
right, so the word oimar means I will say, but when you put a vav in front of it, it changes the tense from future to asid to asa, right? So v'oimar, and I said, aleim, give me my wages, v'imlai, and if you don't want to, chadalu sis, v'yishkalu schari, and they weighed out my fee. How much? Shloishim kasef, 30 silver coins. God established that what he charges is 30 silver coins.
For what? What is the fee
That's
for?
all I paid him?
That's all. Only that. All Hashem charges 30 silver coins.
What for? What
It's cheaper than the kollel over here.
What? 30 coins, 30 for what period of time?
What?
30 coins for what period of time? The wages, is that for an hour, for a day, a week, a year? The Olam Vaed?
What in the world does this mean? Says Rashi, V'oimar el Malchei Yehuda hanoi sarma. I said to the remnant of Malchei Yehuda, Im tov beinechem havuscharu. What's my reward? Kimu mitzvosai. Fulfill my mitzvahs. V'hu yiaschari. That will be my wages. Al kol haTorah shanasati lechem. K'may shenoistim schar l'roi. Just like you pay wages to a shepherd. V'ashu v'era eschem. Otherwise, cease. You want a split? So you don't give me my wages, and I don't protect you.
What's the Shloshim Kasef? We're quantifying...
So what is Shloshim Kasef? What in the world does this mean? Says the Targum, V'avadu yasru usi gavrin miktsas. Let's see Rashi. The words of the Targum, V'avadu yasru usi, they will do my will, gavrin miktsas, some people. You know what it means, give me my wages? I need a few good men. I need a few people observing the Torah. God says, I don't need the whole Jewish people. I need a certain quota of people that hold up the world. How many tzaddikim hold up the world?
10? 30?
People will say 10, some say Lamed Vav. 30. The world needs 30 tzaddikim.
Why do we know that?
From this pasuk. The Shloshim Kasef are the 30 tzaddikim that hold the world. Says Rashi.
The Kasef and not Zav. Tzaddik is only a Kasef, not a Zav.
We'll see. Tergim Yonasan. Va'avadu yasvusi gurun miksas anoshim toy ma'ad hoyu bahem sha'asur ritzani. They had a few good men. Who? Kagain Hacheresh, Hamasker, Daniel, Chananya, Mishael, Azariah, Yechezkel. The Lashon Shloshim Kesef Lo Yadati L'Chavin Kan. I don't know what Kesef got to do with anything, Rashi says. Ela Kesef Lashon Chemda. The word Kesef means to desire, like Ki zekama nichsoif nichsafti, right? Nichsoif nichsafti. Ki nichsoif nichsafti lebeis avi, to yearn. And our rabbis in Masechta Chulin also translate the word kesef as desire. Vehiviu raya, it says tzrar ha-kesef lakach biyadai, the bundle of money take in your hand. And the 30 means like this. Shememhe tzadikim yesh b'chol dar. There are 45 tzadikim in every generation. So in this room we have 6 of them. We have to find another 39 tzaddikim. Maybe 2 more want to come in now. But there are 45 tzaddikim in every generation. And so now the question is, but the pasuk says there are 30 tzaddikim in every generation. So it's a stira, right? Here we have shloshim kasef, and Chazal say there's a Messiah of 45. So Rashi says like this: Ve'veirai mechomer sa'irim v'lesech sa'irim chamisha asar b'vavel u'shloshim eretz Yisrael. Shenemar va'ekcha shloshim kesef ashlicheu beis Hashem be'eretz Yisrael u'minyan ashloshim medrash agada shehoftach Avraham Avinu. Avraham Avinu was promised shelo yehi dar pachas mishloshim tzadikim. Avraham was punished that no generation will have less than 30 tzaddikim. Huh? Where was Avraham promised that there would be a minimum of 30 tzaddikim? The pasuk says, Koi yiyeh zaracha. Yiyeh is begematria shloshim. The word yiyeh has a numerical value of 30.
But Hashem would have saved Sodom and Gomorrah with 10.
Correct, but
So
every...
we need 30?
Maybe there were 30 tzaddikim in the world, but maybe not in Sodom. But Yiyeh is the gematria 30. Okay? Fine.
Didn't we say that Kadosh Baruch Hu's name of Yosef Lovo will be Yudke Yudke?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what we're going to need.
So, these 30, which is God's fee, are the 30 tzaddikim. Rabbi Hashem says, I just need a few good men. Pasuk Yud Gimel. Vayomer Hashem Elai, Hashem said to me, Hashlicheo el hayotzar, throw the money to the treasurer. Pay up. Throw it to the treasurer of what? Eder hayikar, the precious stronghold. Asher yakarti me'alim, that I divested from them. Va'ekcha, and I will take shloshim hakesef, the 30 silver pieces. Va'ash lechoise, and I will throw it beis Hashem, to the house of God, el hayotzar, to the treasurer. Excuse me, va'ashlech is Zecharia talking. So I threw, right? Va'ekcha shloshim hakesef, I took the 30 kesef, 30 pieces of silver, and I threw it into the house of Hashem, to the treasurer.
What's the Lashon Mashma? Va'ashlich? Why didn't you just put it there? Why do you have to throw it? Is it anger?
Let's look at the Radak. Amar Hanavi, the Navi said, Shamala Kalis Vach Sheyashach Zah Kesef Al Yisrael Persham Farshim Kamay HaOitzer. Ki Oitzer, the word Yoitzer, interesting. Yoitzer usually, what does that mean? We translated it as a treasurer. The Radak says, you know why it means that? It should say Oitzar.
Right.
The answer is Ki Oitzer Aleph Hey Vav Yud Heim Mischalfais.
Interchangeable.
You could change Aleph Hey Yud Vav. They're always interchangeable. What does it mean I took them? That they need to be separated from the rest of the people. They cannot be hanging around with them in the streets. You need to take them and put them in the Oitzer Hashem.
These are the tzaddikim?
Yeah.
So why v'ashlich? You throw tzaddikim? Let me just v'asim.
I'm not sure. But they need to be separated. In other words, for God to take His wages, it's not enough to have tzaddikim. They have to be tzaddikim who separate themselves from the ways of the Hamoinam.
But they didn't, they wouldn't be tzaddikim.
Va'egda, pasuk Yadad, and I broke esmakli hasheni, my second stick. Now the second stick, according to Rashi, referred to the Malchei Beis David. And that here Rashi says this refers to the Golus of Tzidkiyahu, the last of the Malchus Beis David. Eis HaChoivlim, the destroyers, the wicked people of his generation, because even though Tzidkiyahu is a tzaddik, his generation were Rishayim. Lahafer es ha'achva, to break the companionship, to break the treaty, to break the brotherhood between Yehuda and Yisrael. Why would we want to do that? Because their brotherhood at that point in history was a brotherhood of idolatry. So at this point in time, not only is God going to exile the Malchei Yisrael, He will exile the Malchei Beis David as well. God said to me, Oid kach lecha. Oh, I just want to mention one more thing. Rashi learns that what does it mean to take the 30 tzaddikim and throw them? It means K'may el ha'oitzar shomer amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu l'Navi. It doesn't mean take the tzaddikim and throw them into the mikdash. It means write down Kesoiv v'hanach es elu heim v'tzidkasam li yishamar l'soiv shim shanok shogalos Bavel v'yivna beis hamikdash al yedeyim. Hashem wants that the ma'asim tovim, the deeds of these righteous people, should be written down on a scroll. Put the scroll in the Beis Hamikdash until the end of Golus Bavel, and that will give hope to the Jewish people that in the merit of these 30 tzaddikim, the second Beis Hamikdash will be built. So interesting thing that apparently they did this. They had some kind of special scroll. Inscribed on it were the names of these 30 tzaddikim and all their ma'asim tovim, and that was the foundation of the Bayis Sheni. But Pasuk Tezvav, Vayomer Hashem Eloi, God said to me, Oid, all again, Kach lecha, take, Kli roya avili, the tools of a foolish shepherd.
What's the difference between the tools between a foolish shepherd and a good shepherd?
What does a good shepherd do and what does a foolish shepherd do? A good shepherd has a stick. He uses a stick to guide the sheep, to direct the sheep. A foolish shepherd hurts the sheep, damages the sheep, inflicts harm on the sheep. God now says, now that the Malchei Beis David and Malchei Yehuda have fallen, now that the Chashmonaim have fallen, now you're going to take the staff of the foolish shepherd. That will symbolize a time of difficulty for the Jewish people. It says in Metzudas David, Pasuk Tezvav, Ratzon Mako Masharoy Evil Manig Boyasatzain, the stick that the foolish shepherd guides the sheep, Shehu Mashchisu Ma'abed Boyasatzain, that he harms the sheep. And this is going to be representative, Rashi says, of what happens at the end of the second Beis Hamikdash. At the end of the second Beis Hamikdash, the Malchei Chashmonai have a treaty with the Romans. We know who succeeded the Chashmonaic dynasty. Hordus, then Agrifas. They made a treaty with the Romans, and ultimately...
Was part of the Chashmonaim? Hordus was part of the Chashmonaim?
No, but he usurped the rule of the Chashmonaim. He killed out the Chashmonaim, and then he took over their Melucha. And he was a traitor. Agrifas especially was a traitor. He joined forces with the Romans, and he was the one, Agrifas was the one who invited Vespasian and then Titus into Eretz Yisrael. And that ultimately caused the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash. So if you look in the Radak says, on this pasuk, Tezvav, See, the Radak is not on this page. The Radak says, the Radak says, Ze agrifas hamelach asher helo es aspasionis ves titos al eretz Yisrael v'sari haprisim asher asos kol harois. So this was representative of the takeover of the Romans. Ki hine anoichi mekim roye ba'aretz. I am going to establish a shepherd on the earth. Now Rashi learns that this refers to Edom. That this refers to the takeover of Edom, the Roman Empire. Hanechados lo yifkoid, the decimated ones will not be visited. Hanar lo yavakesh, the youth will not be sought after. V'hanishbaras, the broken lo yirapi will not be healed. Hanitzava, the weak lo yichalka will not be sustained. V'sar habrio yoichal, they will consume the flesh of the healthy. Ufarsei and yafarik, they will break their legs. The shepherds are not only negligent in the care for the sheep, but they will actively break the legs of the sheep. They will inflict harm on us. Sudas David says, Sha'amid Rosh Ba'aretz al Malchus Beis Hurdas Yeyamar. It's referring to Hordas. And finally, Pasuk Yud Zayin, Hoi Royi Ha'elo. Woe! Alas! You empty shepherd, Oizvi Hatzain, who forsake your sheep. This is like a curse that the Navi is hurling on our oppressors. Cherev al Zroyai, a sword should go against your arm, V'al ein yamina, and on your right eye. Zroya yavosh tivosh, your arm should be withered away. Ve'ein yaminai, and your right eye, kahoy sicha, should be completely dimmed. But ultimately, this is the prophecy of the destruction of the second Beis Hamikdash, which the Metzudas David said, the last of the Herodian kings was Agrifas, who forsook, was a traitor, and he joined forces with the Machrivei Hamikdash, like it says in Josephus. And a curse is being hurled at him. A sword should come onto his arm and onto his right eye. Okay, so we'll revisit these last two psukim Mirz Hashem next time, and I would like to take a brief reprieve from Sefer Zecharia, even though we're almost at the end, because to learn Ovadia, which is only one parak, and it's the Haftarah Parshas Vayishlach. Okay, go ahead.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.